Hey guys, welcome back to Homestead Prepping and Survival. Today I want to talk to you about, is it too late to prep? And the reason I'm got to thinking about this and the reason I'm bringing it up is I'm seeing lots and lots of people that are just now starting to prep, and they're panicking. They're trying to get out and get as much stuff as they can as fast as they can, and they're finding the stores doesn't have the things that they thought they were going to be able to get at the last minute and so on. But I just want to I want to tell you, it is not too late to start prepping. Excuse me, my eyes are itching. But it is not too late. It's not too late to start stockpiling water. It's not too late to start storing food and stockpiling. And I know there's a lot of people that say start off with, 3 days worth of food and water and or a week, and work your way up to 3 months. But I'm going to tell you what's coming. You're going to need more than 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months worth of supplies. And it takes a lot of calories to feed a family. Now, your MAG, your mutual assistance group, your, whatever you want to call your group, I hope that it's not just one person trying to prep and feed everybody that's going to show up, because it's never going to work that way. And I know there's a lot of people waking up and trying to get out and find things and go, well, I can't afford to do this, I can't afford to do that. Can you afford not to? I know in several of my videos recently I've done purchasing gas and how much I've bought and what it cost me. Everybody knows gas prices are going crazy. But I've got, gas stored to where I can run my generator for an hour a day or whatever for many months. And hopefully I won't have to do that. But if the grid does go down, I'm not going to allow my family to do without if I can help it. And that's the point of having a backup generator. That's why I have solar panels on the house. That's why I have the battery bank that the solar panels are charging. And there's a lot of things you can do to prepare now that's not gonna cost you a lot of money. And I've talked about it in other videos. Any container that you bought juice in or milk or whatever, you can wash those out, get them clean, and store water in those now. And if you have any doubt about whether that water is going to be good months or a year down the road, then you can put about 4 drops of water, chlorine bleach, no scent now, just plain chlorine bleach, per gallon of water, and help preserve the safety and integrity and taste of that water for many years. Now, if it's water that you're collecting from a creek or a pond or whatever, then you're going to want to add 8 drops to it to kill the bacteria and the germs and all. We've talked about that. But you can store water now while it's available at virtually no cost, zero, nothing. So I don't want people to panic thinking that they've got to get this and they got to get that. Yes, follow the rules of 3, which is you can last 3 minutes. Average person lasts about 3 minutes without oxygen. Dang it, somebody's coming to see me. So if you're worried about things that are going to make it to where you can't breathe, then get a gas mask. Make that your priority, because you can't last without air. And then the next thing is you can last 3 hours without shelter in extreme temperatures. And that goes for hot or cold. If it's too cold, then you need shelter with 3 hours or you're going to get hypothermia. And if it's too hot and you don't have some kind of shelter to get out of that sun and out of that heat, and it's happening a lot all across the country right now, 100 degrees, 101 degrees. I think here in Southwest Georgia, one of my techs at work sent a picture that showed it was 101 degrees with a heat index of 108 today. That is hot. I don't care where you are, that's hot. But if you factor in the 95% or 90% humidity we have, it feels much, much, much hotter than that. You've got to be able to get out of the heat. and have a way to let your body cool off. So 3 hours without some type of shelter. All right, and then you've got about 3 days without water. So like I said, water is vital. You cannot survive without it, and it's something you can prep now for basically free. Start with that. Start with the air. Start with shelter. And if you're not worried about, the air and the shelter, a lot of people in the South don't, then jump right onto the water. Water you can prep for free right now. There are better ways. You can buy containers that'll seal that water and, things. But it doesn't have to be extravagant. You don't have to go out there and buy these high-dollar water containers. If you sterilize, properly clean a container, you can store water in that container. All right, and then after 3 days without water, you can last about 3 weeks without food. And my thing about the lasting 3 weeks without food is you might last 3 weeks without food. But after about a week without food, your energy level is extremely low compared to what you would normally have. If you don't eat for a couple of 3 days, you're not going to be able to get out there and work and walk and perform strenuous activities all day long. Your energy level and your ability to do that is going to reduce every day you go without caloric intake, without food. So start with the simple things. Start with the things that are easy to store that will just keep you from starving. You don't have to have these dehydrated foods that'll last 30 years. Okay, do you want to eat that for 30 years? Okay, you don't have to have that. Start with the basic food things. Buy what you like. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't waste your money. You're trying to feed yourself and your group. Okay, rice. Everybody just about can eat rice. So, but rice is very, very bland. You need things to spruce up that rice. You need salt and pepper. Those things will store for many, many, many years without a whole lot of effort. And it'll make your food more palatable. Don't panic. Don't get out there and panic buy. But, start with what you can afford to get. Bread doesn't last long. Don't go out there and buy 30 loaves of bread when you have no way to make it last for years. Buy what you can use and what you can store so that you're not throwing money away. You don't want that food to go bad. So buy rice, buy beans, dried things like that you can rehydrate with, let them soak in water and boil it and things like that. Buy spices to make that food taste better. Spices are already dry, most of them. You can store that stuff for a very long time. And, you don't have to have this fancy special way of preserving the food to make it last for years and years. Some things just naturally last a long, long time. Salt and sugar are two of those things. Both will get hard like a brick from soaking up moisture from the air, but you can break it back up and go right back to being perfectly fine. So sugar doesn't go bad, salt doesn't go bad. Store the things that you absolutely need. So, don't get out there and fill your freezer up if you don't have a way to keep that freezer running. Buy things that you can store in a closet or in your basement or some type of cool, dry place. Don't panic. Even if World War III started tomorrow, which some people say it's already started. Everybody's got their own opinion, but regardless of that, if all hell broke loose tomorrow, you still have time to get things. The variety is going to be a lot less. The quality may even be less, but you have time. So one more thing I want to touch on is seeds. I've got food stored. If you've watched my videos, you know that. but I've also got seeds stored so that I can replenish those food stores if we use them, right? Stored food's only going to last you so long. And right now, every home, garden, place in the country is completely packed with seeds everywhere. I don't care if it's the heirloom or the organic or GMO. It doesn't matter. Right now, the important thing is to get some seeds stored so that you can plant a garden, you can grow food. And if you've never even planted a garden, at least you've got the seeds to try. I'd rather try and fail than just lay down and take it. So, do that stuff. Fertilizer prices have gone through the roof. I understand all that. But there are things that are going to grow in the soil you have, in the area you have, that are going to grow much better than other things. So try to find out those things that grow well in your soil and that you eat. And if you're not an experienced gardener, then focus on the things that are much easier for you to grow, harvest, and preserve. So water bath canning. Sure, you don't have to have a pressure canner, but you still need the jars, you still need the lids, you still need the rings. And unless you buy those Tatler reusable lids, you're going to need a lot of those one-time use lids. So you can get started storing food without spending a fortune, and you can get a good amount of food stored. Get your food stored however much it is you want to be. I'm going to say a year's worth of food. Minimum. My ultimate goal is 2 years. And the reason I do the 2 years is so what if crap hits the fan and it's the dead middle of winter or the beginning of a hard winter? You can't really grow anything outside. So you need to have food to get you through that winter until growing season starts. And then if you're not a great farmer and don't have 2 green thumbs, you're not going to, most likely, not going to have the great harvest that's going to give you all the food you need. So you need to be able to plant a second time. Because if you only grow 25% of the food you need and you've used up all your stores, you're not going to make it till the next growing season. So store seeds, store enough for several years worth of gardens. It's very, very inexpensive right now. And it's easy to store. Cool, dark place. So if you've got air covered, shelter covered, water covered, like I say, I haven't named anything that's very expensive. Air could just be a simple mask that everybody's been forced to wear for the last 2 years, or it can be a $300 gas mask that you put on. Whatever fits your budget and whatever you can afford, that's what you need to focus on. So, air, shelter, water, now food, and then you've got a resupply plan for that food, which is seeds. Don't panic. There is time. Right now, seeds are cheap. Yeah, the price has gone up, but you can still walk into any Lowe's or Home Depot or most grocery stores and find packets of seeds for $1.59 or $2.29 or whatever. You can't tell me you can't spare $5 a week to go buy 2 packs of seeds or 3 packs of seeds. Everybody can. Skip that soda. You go in the doggone convenience store, you get a 20-ounce bottle of, $1.29, $1.39. Skip one. Wash the bottle from the last one out and fill it up with water. Okay, you drink water one time, you've got enough money saved right there to buy a packet of seeds. It can be done without panicking, without trying to say, I don't have the resources. You do have the resources. You've got to prioritize your resources into what's most important to you. Another thing I want to talk about is you think you've got those things covered. So can you do all of that? If there's 5 people in your group or 15 people in your group, are you going to be doing all the planting and all the harvesting and all the preserving? Are you going to be doing all the water hauling and filtering? Okay, everybody needs to have a job. Assign jobs to people in your group and get the people in your group involved now before crap hits the fan. And if they don't want to participate, they don't need to be in your group. Plain and simple. I've told many, many people over the years that say, oh, I'm coming to your house when crap hits the fan. So you expect me to take food that I've set back to feed my grandchildren so they don't starve to death. You expect me to take it from my grandchild and feed it to you or your spouse or your family or your grandkids? What? How insane is that? They've got to prep also. And if they don't want to prep, they don't need to be part of your group. Life is hard. If they don't believe that they need to prep, they don't need to be part of your group, period. Every person in your mag, every person in your group should bring value to the group. Are they a doctor? Are they a nurse? Are they a mechanic? Are they an electrical engineer? Are they a farmer? Raising livestock? Are they good at animal husbandry? There's many, many things out there that are going to need to be covered when crap hits the fan. And unfortunately, I really do believe that we are closer now than we've ever been. And I don't think we have very long. I mean, this economy, this country can't support the liberal laws and the liberal governance from D.C. much longer the way it's going. Prices are climbing faster than people can keep up with it. Semi-truck drivers all over the country, in other countries, are talking about how they can't afford to buy fuel to run their route. It's very important that you start prepping and you get the people in your family, in your group, involved, actively prepping. Everyone should contribute something every day or every week. Expect results. If you expect nothing, you're going to get nothing. The only way people will prep is if they feel that they need to prep and want to prep. You'll never convince them to prep if they themselves don't want to. I don't care who they are. I've got some really, really close friends that I would take a bullet for. And I can tell you right now, some of those don't have enough food to last a week. And have been friends with me for 10 years. I can't feed them when crap hits the fan. I'm not going to take food out of my children's mouths and out of my grandchildren's mouths to feed somebody that has known. If you've known me for that long, you don't have an excuse not to be prepping. You don't have an excuse why your family, your kids, your spouses are going to be hungry next week. So talk to your people. No need to be mean about it. I ain't trying to be mean. I apologize if you take me that way. But if people aren't prepping, they don't need to be involved in your group and in your prepping. They've got to get off their butt and they got to make that choice themselves. No need to panic. Focus on what's absolutely necessary. Once you've got the basic food covered, once you've got your rice and beans purchased and stored, and go, okay, I've got 6 months worth of rice and beans. Great. Now if you want to turn around and start buying a few extra things that's going to dress up those rice and beans, then do that. But get the basic down first. And when you get that covered, go back and add the extras to it that's going to make it a lot more palatable to you and your family. So that's just what I want to cover with y'all today. Y'all know I watch a lot of other channels, and some of them are for entertainment, but most of them are prepping related in some form. I can tell you, they're talking about all kinds of stuff out there. And some of it I believe and some of it I don't. But one thing I know for sure is gas prices are more than double what they were 2 years ago. Food, I don't care what the government says, food is up 40 to 80% depending on what it is and where you're buying it. Okay, so gas is preventing people. I had someone tell me today, I'm jumping subject here, but I had someone tell me today that there are people out there that are getting a lot of government assistance, SNAP benefits, that used to buy a whole lot of steaks and all kind of things with their government money, with our tax dollars, because they get so freaking much every month they don't need it. There's people out there now, instead of wasting it on the high dollar stuff that they really shouldn't have been buying to begin with, they're selling those things to someone else. They're going to buy this stuff for them and getting money for what they wanted, so they can take that money and put it in their vehicle so they can afford to ride down the road, because they can't afford gas, but they got plenty of stamps to go out there and buy food. I'm not telling you to do that, because that is illegal and you can get in trouble. But there's a lot of people out there doing things that didn't used to happen, because it is getting that bad. It's going to get a lot worse. I know it will. It's not a matter of if or when. It's already started. How much longer can we continue on this path before it's to the point that people stand up and say, you know what, I can't afford to buy gas to go back to work this week. It costs me more in gas to go to work than it does for me to be at work. Or I can't afford to buy food and pay the electricity bill that rates have gone up, pay the insurance on my vehicle or the wear and tear on my vehicle, I need tires or whatever, and buy gas. It's getting to where it costs more than what some people are making to get by from week to week. Crap has already hit the fan. It's just getting a, if you take it as a slap. It started out as a little tap, but every week it's getting a little bit harder. And if you're not waking up from it, there's not a whole lot of help that anybody can do for you. Guys, I hope you're prepping. It's vital. Save yourself, save your family, and pass the word along. Talk to people, especially the ones in your group, and say, look, you need to be buying food. You need to be stockpiling water. You need medical Band-Aids. Patriot Nurse likes to say the 3 B's. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. I had to think for a minute. You've got to have that stuff. And if you don't get it pretty soon, you ain't going to be able to get it. So don't panic. Be smart. Get out there and get it while you can. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you. Please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and share the channel when you can. Help me grow, please. I thank y'all very much. Remember the 2 things I always tell you that's most important. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.